All right, let's jump right in. Today we've got a travel story that, it starts out super simple, but ends up being about something completely different. It's just a perfect reminder that the best parts of a trip, yeah, they're usually the ones you didn't plan for at all.
So, picture this. The whole reason for this trip, a day trip from Beijing, mind you, was for one thing and one thing only: the Hard Rock Cafe. He just wanted to grab another collectible for his collection. Super simple mission, right? In and out. Okay, so the plan was straightforward. The author and his buddy Fulton hop on a train from Beijing to Tianjin. It's the morning of April 26th. They get there around 10 a.m., all set to pop into the Hard Rock, get the goods, and be on their way back home. Easy peasy.
And just like that, mission accomplished. I mean, almost as soon as it started. They find the Hard Rock Cafe. It's inside this place called the Luning CC Plaza. Turns out the rock shop itself was super tiny, not a lot to choose from. But hey, in no time at all, he got what he came for. So, the main event's over, but it's still morning. The day has barely even begun.
So, what do you do now? The main goal is already checked off the list, literally minutes after they arrived, and they've got an entire day ahead of them in Tianjin. So, they do what a lot of us would do these days. They asked an AI for suggestions, and, well, this is where that simple, straightforward trip starts to get a little twisty.
First up on the AI's list, Wadado. Sounded like a good highlight, right? So off they go. They take the metro, walk for about 15 minutes to get there, and they're picturing, some kind of specific spot, a cool landmark to check out.
But when they actually get there, all they see is this big stadium, the Minuan Stadium. I mean, it's a stadium. Their interest in it lasted for, and this is a direct quote, only for a few seconds. So they're just kind of standing there, totally confused, like, is this it? What are we supposed to be looking at?
So they finally find a map and, oh, okay, Wu-Dao isn't one spot. Nope, it's a whole district. We're talking colonial-era buildings spread out over 5 different lanes. Realizing it would take like the entire afternoon to even scratch the surface, they just decided, you know what? Let's get some lunch and figure out what's next.
So the rest of the afternoon just turned into this series of little unplanned stops. You know how it is when you're just wandering. They found this cool coffee shop that was also a post office, a tradition of his apparently, then a quick detour for a Pop Mart, before just enjoying the view of the city as they walked across the Dagu Bridge. And that led them right to the huge century clock, which, conveniently, is right by the train station.
Okay, so it's about 3 p.m. They get to Tianjin Station. Feeling pretty good, ready for a quick train ride back to Beijing. They figure the day is pretty much wrapping up. But this, right here, is where the whole story of their day just completely flips on its head.
I want you to just imagine this. You walk up to the ticket counter, totally relaxed, expecting to be on your way in a few minutes. And then you're told the next available train isn't for another 5 hours. 5 hours! All of a sudden, that simple little day trip? Yeah, it's not so simple anymore. Their schedule just got hijacked.
So, what do you even do when you get news like that? Well, they did something a lot of us would probably do. They went right back to McDonald's. Yep, the same one where they'd started their day, to just sit down, let that reality sink in. They were stuck in Tianjin for the whole evening. All right, so after they finally accepted their fate, they figured, okay, let's make the most of this. They decided to walk over to the ancient Culture Street. Seemed like a decent way to kill some time, right? But this is when the vibe of the day starts to change again. A different kind of feeling starts creeping in.
They're on this hour-long walk along the river, and that's when it hits him. That feeling of travel fatigue. It just hits him, hard. The scenery starts to look really familiar, kind of reminding him of Shanghai. And suddenly, it doesn't feel like a new adventure anymore. It feels like a rerun. He starts seeing the pattern, the kind of city blueprint. You've got the huge high-rise buildings, you've got the long, winding river, and of course, you've got the ancient street that's really just for tourists. That feeling of sameness really started to put a damper on things. It's that moment every traveler hates, right? When it stops feeling like discovery and starts feeling like you're just checking boxes off a list.
Okay, so finally, after all those hours of waiting and wandering around, it was finally time to go home. And this, right here, is where the last and maybe the most important memory of Tianjin gets made. It's the final twist that turns the whole day on its head.
I mean, just think about the difference between the plan and the reality here. The plan was simple: get a collectible. The reality? A 5+ hour wait at a train station. The plan was to explore a cool new city. The reality? A serious case of travel fatigue. It couldn't be more different.
But here's the kicker, the final twist.
After all that, the long wait, the feeling of sameness, all the frustration, what's the one thing that really stuck with him? His last defining memory of Tianjin. It wasn't any of that. It was the business class seats that got on the train home. That little bit of unexpected comfort, that small upgrade, completely overshadowed the entire crazy day.
It really just goes to show you, right? Sometimes it's the smallest, most random details that end up defining the whole experience. They can turn a day that was mostly frustrating into a really great story to tell. So that makes me wonder, what about you? What's your most memorable travel surprise? A time when things went totally off the rails but ended with something you'll never forget.